Okay, so we're going to learn how to chop an onion, but first you have to peel it. So let's get going with that. I usually take off the top end and the root end as well. Now the root end does have, that's where all the things, the gas is that makes you cry. And if I can, I'll hold it down and I'll get a little strip off here. It makes it a little bit easier to peel. And then you can just put your fingers in and peel it. Not every onion is going to be this easy to peel. Let me just tell you that. But it's a good start. So this was the top end and this was the root end. All this stuff you can save for your compost, or you can toss it out, whatever works for you. I collect them and put them in a bag and put them in the freezer, and once I have enough of that and other vegetables, I make vegetable broth. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slice your onion down the middle, from the root end or the top end to the root end, either way, and it's going to look like this. And the best way to cut it into dice it. First of all, you can take it, turn it over. You want the flat side down so it doesn't roll across your board. And you can just make cuts like this. So you've got little half moons. Oops, and there's a little bit of the peel. Sometimes the peel doesn't always come off. There is a membrane in between each layer. It's very thin, but it's also very slippery. So you want to make sure that you're working with one that doesn't have a membrane on the outside. You want to take that off so that it's not on the outside, otherwise it'll slip. And then you can cut it in, like this is about a 1/4 of an inch. So you just cut it in 1/4 inch strips like this. And then turn it, and then you can dice it, and you do the same thing. You're just slicing in 1/4 inches, and see how it's coming off my knife in about a 1/4 inch dice. Now at a certain point it's going to get hard to hold, and you do have to be careful because it can be slippery. And what I'll do is I'll just turn the whole thing like this. And just go slowly until you feel comfortable, and then you can go a little bit faster, but you know, it tends to separate a little bit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. There is no perfect, you don't have to be a perfectionist unless you go to culinary school. That's the only, that's where they want perfection. But we're just pampered, we're not perfect, right? There's our Pampered Chef logo on the knife. So I'm going to do the other one. And here's the thing, another way you can do it, if I had kept the root end on, you can actually slice into it like this, along against the grain, which is what I did the last thing I did, and then turn it, and it's all held together, and it's easier to dice. And I forgot to tell you about that method. So there's like 2 methods. There's more. People who've gone to culinary school usually hold it like with a claw-like grip, so that the knife can rest against your knuckles, and that way you won't, and the fingertips are curled under, that way you won't hurt yourself. Now there's the last piece, so that's not going to slice so easily. I'm just turning it, and that's basically it. Now here's the thing, you can go through and make it even smaller dice just by turning your knife on it on the cutting board. And that's another way of doing it once you've got it, you know, pretty much chopped up, if you want to make it smaller. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, once you've got a whole onion diced, maybe you don't need so much. So maybe you only need this much, and the rest is extra. You can actually lay that on a cookie sheet and put that in the freezer. Once it's frozen, and you lay it out flat on the cookie sheet, so spread it out like this. So once it's frozen, put it in the freezer. Once it's frozen, then you can actually put it in a bag and pull out what you need when you're cooking. So as long as you're cooking with it, doesn't need to be fresh, then you can freeze it. And that's a really good way to extend the life of your onions. And that is how to dice onions. I hope this helps. Bye.